Let me just make sure that you. Okay, good. So y'all should be hearing me, right? Okay, fantastic. Sorry about that. I should have done a mic check, but wonderful. So I'm seeing the plugs dropping in. Guys, I have my notebooks. I have my notebook right here, right? I have my notebook right here. So what I want you to do, I want you to drop notebook in the chat if you are ready for the information that you're going to get here this evening. Now, I don't know. I'm seeing Khadijah having her notebook. Kirk has notebook. Guys, Charlene has her notebook. Soraya, Shatikwa, Shakara. Yes, yes, yes. I'm seeing the notebooks in the chat. We are ready for this information. This is going to be a life changer. Every single person that I have invited on this call, I said to them, you know what? This is going to be a life changer. Why is this going to be a life changer? Because, guys, we are talking about our mouth. We are talking about the mechanism to create. We are talking about the mechanism that is going to help you to create whatever it is that you want to create in 2021. And I want you to take a moment. I want you to take a moment right now and understand that every single thing that you have in your life right now, every single thing that you have in your life right now, it is happening because you would have spoken it. Everything that you have manifested in your life is because that's what you were believing for. That's what you spoke into existence. And we're going to change things around in 2021 because 2021 is going to be our year of acceleration. 2021 is going to be where we are coming for every single thing that we have been promised by our creator to have. Every power, everything that is within us, we're going to manifest it in 2021, and it's going to be an awesome year. So if that is you and you are ready to have everything, every single thing that your creator has put within you, every power that you have within your heart, I want you to drop some 777 in the chat because I am about to bring on a gentleman who has made it his life mission to study this subject. He has made it something that is coming out of him right now, guys. You don't understand that for the past couple months, this gentleman has been pouring into this organization, helping us to understand that to go to the next level, our belief and our leadership is going to take us there. So tonight, I want you to prepare your heart. I want you to prepare your hands because you are going to be writing a lot of information and you're going to be touched in a way that nothing else have touched you before. And guess what? We are starting this off. We are starting 2021 off this year, right? In a way that will help you to set the pace, set the tone for the rest of the next 12 months of your life. And guys, I want you to take a moment, right? Take a moment and see December 31st, 2021. See yourself December 31st, 2021. How does that look for you? How does that look for you? Do you get excited? Right? Are you feeling hopeful? Are you feeling joyful? Who is around you? Who are the persons that are celebrating with you? Because December 31st, 2021 is going to be one of the most amazing days of your life. Trust and believe. And you know why is that? Because you are on this call tonight. 190 persons are plugged into this call. And I believe, guys, that you are going to have an amazing time, not just tonight, but for the rest of your life of 2021. So get excited because stay excited because I'm about to bring on this gentleman who, like I said, a servant leader, guys, who has dedicated himself to this information and not just learning this information, but has dedicated himself to understanding it, applying it, and now he is teaching it. Right? So these are levels that you want to understand. And I want to just take a moment to say thank you to Chairman Akeem Bourne for his service, right? And I want you, if you are ready for this information, if you are really, really ready, drop some sevens in this chat. Let us light up this chat with some sevens here tonight. All right. And let Chairman Akeem Bourne know that we are prepared. Our heart is prepared. Our ears are prepared. Our fingers are prepared. Our notebooks are there. And we are ready. Chairman Akeem Bourne, are you there? Are you ready to take us to the next level?
Ma'am. Let's go. Can you hear me clearly, Kyla? Can you see me? Am I
Loud and
good? If you
clear.
guys see, okay, great, great, great. Well, as usual, man, let me just first give it back to you for hosting this call. I'm very excited about this call, guys, because I really believe that this year, 2021, is the game changer year for many of us. I really believe that this year is going to be the platform that really allows us to achieve not just success in the area of business, not just success in the area of our family and our finances. Really holistically, I believe this year is going to set us up for that. And I want to just commend all of you who are on this call. It's a Sunday evening. You could be anywhere right now, doing something else, but you've made the commitment to come on this call because you see the value in your mouth. You see the value in the words that you speak. And I'm very excited about that because the truth is everything begins with the word, So all of you who are on the line, I want to also congratulate you as well in advance for the success that you're going to have in 2021, because as you guys know, 2020 was a phenomenal year. It was the year of overflow. And despite all the challenges that we faced in 2021, although that 2020, sorry, yes, we're going to face challenges in 2021, but in 2020, despite all those challenges that we faced, guess what? We still overcame. We still were able to come out alive. It's a blessing right now to still be alive. And I want you guys to start off this call with a place of gratitude. Be in a place of gratitude, understanding that you made it through 2020. You are here right now and you've got another opportunity in 2021 to create the world that you want, to create the life that you want. And it's really important that you understand that we start this call with from the place of gratitude. Sorry, really, really being grateful, really being thankful for the life that you have, the experiences that you went through in 2020, because guess what? Those experiences that you had, they're preparing you, they're getting you ready for what's about to happen in 2021. And you got to know that, because once you've got your goals set, and I know all of you on this line, you would have already probably began to prepare for 2021 with your goals. You've wrote the vision down, you've made it clear, and you're running towards what it is that you have set. I want to remind you of what, I was telling a couple of leaders earlier up in the week, is that whatever you got, whatever you said in 2020, you got. And whatever you say in 2021, you're going to get as well. And this is how I know that's true. Because the word, and I'm going to be teaching tonight from that place as well, everything starts with the word. And that's what the word says. The word says that whatsoever you speak it, you will have. And we're going to expand on that tonight, because I want you to understand that the words that you speak, they have power. Here's the thing. The words you have, they're so powerful that they literally move your life in a direction that you whether you want it or not, whatever your words are, whatever, that is what you create. That's the way that your world goes. And despite what's happening in the world around us, because we have the same creative ability like God, because that's how God creates with his words, despite what's happening around us in the world, you and I have the ability to create what we want in our world. And you want to write that down, and you want to be clear on that. Despite what's happening around us right now with the whole pandemic, despite what's happening right now around us with all the rising cases, if you live in Barbados or other countries as well, cases are rising. Here's the point. All that's happening in the world right now, you have the ability to control and create your world, and it starts with your words. What you want this year starts with your words. It's in your mouth. And I want you to understand that, because the truth is that when you understand the foundational truth that you are like God, you are not God. The word says you were created in his image and his likeness, which means that you look like him and you can think and act like him. You have the ability to function like him. And that image and likeness means that the same way that he functions, you have the ability to function as well. And one of the main ways that God functions is by speaking. And I want to start here with this foundational truth, because as we go into how you're going to guard your mouth in this year, you want to understand that you've got that same creative ability to be able to express and create your world, that creative power in Genesis 1. Guess what? You have that flowing through you as well. So I'm excited about this training simply because it's like light bulbs were going off in my mind as I was preparing for this thing. And a lot of the information that I'm going to share, some of you have heard before, many of you may have heard it before, but then there's some of you that may have never heard it in your entire life. And I want you to understand this, that, what I'm going to share with you tonight, they are principles, they are laws that really and truly cannot be broken, because they're spiritual laws. They're not like a man-made law where, for example, the man-made law is you have to stop at red lights, and then you can go through a red light. Please don't go through red lights. But here's the thing: man-made laws can be broken, but spiritual laws cannot be broken. And I want you to write that down as well, because when you begin to understand that the principles I'm going to teach you tonight are spiritual laws, that you can use them to your advantage, then you will see how this year can become your greatest year to date. Because more often than not, what happens is that because people don't understand these spiritual laws, they use them, but they use them for what they don't want. With their words and with their mouth, they create what they don't want. And we're going to talk about that at the end, because that's where the alignment comes in. So let's dive into the training. If you've got your pens and papers, if you've got something to take notes, I want you to put a 7 in the chat, because this is where we're going to begin. This is where liftoff takes place. So good. So this call is called Guard Your Mouth in 2021. And I want you guys to understand something. In order for you to guard your mouth in 2021, you first got to start by guarding your mind. You want to write that down. In order for you to guard your mouth in 2021, you've got to first start by guarding your mind. And I'm going to explain to you what that means. Because here's the thing, you want to write this down as well. Right and wrong thinking is the basis of controlling your mind. That's at the very core. Not the thoughts that you have, and we're going to explain that too as well, because it's a difference between thoughts and thinking. But the thinking that you have, that's at the basis of your mind. And if you don't have the right thinking, then you can't get the right results. If you have the wrong thinking, then guess what? You're going to get the wrong results. And I'm going to expand on that, and I'm going to show you how this is true. But before I do that, I need to explain something to you. Our thoughts, they come from only 3 places. You want to write this down? They only come from 3 places. The first place is our 5 senses. When you smell something, it provokes a particular thought. When you see something, it provokes a particular thought. All the senses that you have, when you experience these things, they create a particular thought in your mind. And that's the first place where your thoughts come from. But here's the second thing now. Thoughts come from God as well, and they come from the devil or the adversary. And I want you guys to really follow me here, because if you think about your life, how many of you guys ever had a thought that came to your mind that you were like, where did that thought come from? That ever happened to any of you on this line before? You had a thought that was so strange that out of nowhere, it just came to you. Yeah, if that happened to you, say in the chat, or say 7 or something in the chat. Let's see who's following. Because here's the truth. These thoughts that you have, they come from some place. And you've got to be aware of that, because once you're aware of where these thoughts are coming from, then you can manage your thinking. Because remember I said there's a difference between your thoughts and your thinking. Your thoughts are the seed. You want to write this down. The thoughts that you have are the seed. The thinking is the process that develops the seed. Thinking is where now you meditate, you begin to imagine, and we're going to expand on this. This is where you ruminate. This is where the meditation comes in. This is where you play in your mind over and over a particular thing. That's thinking. That's why the word says, think on these things, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure. And I'm going to expand on that as well. That's good thinking. Those are good. Those things are good thoughts, and then you begin to cultivate good thinking, which goes into imagination. And we're going to talk about. I want to expand on this right here, because remember we spoke about right and wrong thinking. That's the basis of your mind, right? That's like the basis of controlling your mind. So this is what it says in the word, right? This word. Remember I said everything starts with the word. John 1 says, in the beginning was the word, right? And that word really is Jesus, but it's also the logos word, the written word. Shout outs to my boy Anderson Rice. I'm not sure if he's on, but he's a prophetic teacher, and he helps us understand the meaning of these words and stuff like that. And let me tell you, as I was studying and preparing for this call, so much revelation was coming to me, and I believe those of you who are on this line, you will begin to get light as well. Let me show you, because this call right here, I really believe is going to blast off many of us on this line. So let's talk about this law here. This is what Luke says: out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. This is what Luke 6:45 says. It's in the word, right? I remember I said everything starts with the word. So you're going to hear me drawing on these principles, these spiritual principles, these biblical principles throughout this entire training, because I know that this is true. So this is what it says in Luke: out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And as I was reading that, I was thinking about that, I was using this tool or this device called a concordance. It's called the Strongest Strong Concordance. And what that does is that it gives you the root meaning, the Hebrew word, the root meaning of a particular word. And as I was looking at it, and I realized that heart there, the Hebrew word for heart in this particular scripture is cardia, which means thoughts and feelings. Guys, I need you to catch this here right now. I hope you're writing this down. This is what it says: out of the abundance of your thoughts and feelings, your mouth speaks. Remember, I said the basis of your mind, controlling your mind, is right and wrong thinking. Right? Remember, I said that the verse is it's Luke 6:45. It says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what it means really is that out of the abundance of your thoughts and feelings, your mouth speaks. So what is that telling me? Right? What is that saying? That if I've got negative feelings in abundance in my heart, if I've got negative emotions in abundance in my heart, guess what? Because that's in abundance, it's going to overflow. Let me show you something else. This is what Proverbs 4:23 says. It says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it the issues of life flow. That's Proverbs 4:23. But let me tell you, as I was going through this, the Hebrew word for heart there is leb, or leb, L-E-B. But catch this. It also means your feelings and emotions, but watch this: your will, your intellect, or your understanding. So listen to what it's saying, because we're talking about how you're going to guard your mouth. And in order for you to guard your mouth, you first got to guard your mind. So how do you guard your mind? Look at what it says. Guard your mind, or guard your will, guard your feelings, guard your emotions, guard your intellect and understanding, because out of that, the issues of life flow. So if your will is out of alignment, if your emotions and feelings are out of alignment, if you're experiencing a lot of negativity on the inside of you, guess what? Then the issues of life are going to flow from that as well. And this is so important, guys. This is very, very critical. When you begin to understand this, you begin to manage the emotions that you have. And we're going to expand on that at the end as well, because when you understand the emotions that you have are playing a critical role in your belief system because they're in your heart, then you can create what it is that you want. What is happening is that most people, they're creating what they don't want because they don't know what's in their heart. And they don't know what's in their heart because they're not paying attention to what's coming out of their mouth. And because they're not paying attention to what's coming out of their mouth, their lives are going all over the place. I'm telling you. Remember I said at the beginning that whatever you spoke in 2020, that's what you got. And I know some people don't like to accept this, the concept of you literally can speak things into existence. It's not just speaking it, because, and I'm going to talk about this at the end as well, in speaking it, there's something that has to take place in the physical as well. And I'm going to show you this in the self-confidence formula when I get to that point, right? But look at the last one here, and this is my favorite one. Proverbs 27:3 says, as a man thinketh in his heart. Catch this. Remember I said thinking and thoughts are two different things. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Not as a man has thoughts in his mind, because remember, we said that thoughts and thinking are two different things. Your thoughts, they come from where? Your five senses, God and the adversary, the devil. But then when you begin to think now, which is the process of rumination, It's the process of, oops, am I back? Am I back? I just pressed something at the top. Can you guys, am I back here? Can you hear? Okay, great. Thinking is the process. It's where now that thought begins to grow and marinate. And once it's marinating now, this is where the imagination comes in. And I'm going to show you the triangle of belief, or the pyramid of belief that I learned from my mentor, that I'm going to explain in a bit. I'm going to show you how this thing really is all going to come together. But look, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The Hebrew word for heart there, this is so important. It's nefesh. You can research this. Nehfesh. Listen to what it means. It means, it says that is the Hebrew word there is your mind, your soul, your emotions. That's what the root word of that. That word nefesh means your mind, your soul, your emotions. So watch this. As a man thinketh in his mind, his emotions, in his soul, so is he. That's who you are. So watch this. Those of you that know the self-confidence formula in Think and Grow Rich, right? What that tells me then is that the dominating thoughts that I have will gradually reproduce themselves. And actually, you know, let me pull that up and show you guys here really quickly so that it makes sense. Now, some of you may have never read Think and Grow Rich, but I want you guys to follow me here, right? You want to read it? It's in this book by Napoleon Hill. Look at what it says right here. It says, I realize that the dominating thoughts, so a dominating thought is a thought that I have, that I hold in my mind. It's the main thought, right? Catch this. The dominating thoughts in my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily on the task of thinking. I concentrate my thoughts, which allows me to start to think on the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. I know that through the process of auto-suggestion, which is really speaking to yourself, and we're going to talk about that, how do I get things into my heart? Any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek itself, it will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining it, the object of which I desire. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to show you the connection. I wanted to show you the connection because this is why I tell leaders, right? Let me just go back in my thing. Okay, great. This is why I tell leaders, you got to be able to connect the dots, because when you read Think and Grow Rich, these guys are using biblical principles, spiritual laws to show us how we can create. Biblical laws, spiritual principles that show us, hey, look, this is how you can create the life that you want. So now that you understand that in order to guard your mouth, you've got to guard your mind, you've got to guard your heart. The question is, so how do I get things in my heart? This is very important. I hope you guys are following, guys. This information I am telling you, if you catch this, 2021 will be your biggest year ever. Because I was talking to my wife, and this is what my wife said to me. Powerful point. I told her, you know, it's like this thing, I'm getting so much insight on this information. It's really beginning to work. You know what she said? She was like, hey, look, it was always working. It's just that you're getting clear on it now. And that's for many of us on this line as well. Many of us that have achieved certain levels of success, we have been using these principles, but we were not at a certain level of awareness to realize this is what we need to do consistently to get these results. I'm telling you, this thing is so powerful. So as I began to understand that, hey, look, my imagination, me dreaming, me sitting down and visualizing and seeing myself as the person that I intend to become. Do you know that's part of the creation process? And I'm going to show you now in a bit when I get to the triangle of belief, all right? But good. Here's the next point, or the next question. So know that you know that in order for you to guard your mouth, you've got to guard your heart. The question is, how do I get things in my heart then? How do I get things into my heart? Now, I want you guys to understand this, right? Faith comes by what? Those of you that you know the word as well. Faith comes by what? Let's see. Hearing. But hearing what? Hearing what? You're right. Faith comes by hearing, but hearing what? By the word. By the word. Which means then that this same word that I'm hearing over, because the only way it's going to get into my heart, it has to be a word, and I need to hear it repeatedly. But catch this, you want to write this down. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. But I also want to let you know that fear comes by hearing as well. Fear comes by hearing as well. And with all that's happening right now in the world of the pandemic, you have got to stand guard at the doorway of your mind. You have got to protect your heart from all of this constant negativity, all the cases rising, all this data from the papers, from the news. Because guess what? From you hearing that over and over, you know what's happening? It's getting into your heart, and then you're wondering why you're living in so much fear. Then you're wondering why you can't step out in faith. It's because you've got fear in your heart. And how did you get fear in your heart? Because you heard it over and over and over. You heard people are dying. You heard this is what's happening. You heard that's what's happening. You heard about the vaccine. You heard about cases rising. Listen, don't misunderstand me. You need to be aware. You need to know what's going on. You need to practice social distancing and all of the protocols, etc. But more importantly, you've got to make sure. Remember, I said that despite what's happening in the world outside of you, you control your world. In the worst year, 2020, because I know it was a challenge for many of us, people still became billionaires. People still became millionaires. I made the most money I've ever made in my entire life last year in the midst of turmoil in my life. In my health, I had health issues. So much stuff was happening, but I was still able to succeed. Why? Because the words that I was speaking, we said, those of you who were part of our company, I Am Mastery Academy, that 2020 was the year of overflow. Overflowing your finances, overflowing your health. Whatever you directed your words towards in 2020, that's what you got. I saw that in my life personally. And right now, the word is, or one of the words is for 2021 is acceleration. All the goals that you have set that you've been working towards, you're going to see them happen quickly. And we're going to talk about how they're going to happen quickly in a bit, because the truth is that the word, once you hear it repeatedly, that's how it gets into your heart. And this is not something deep. As a matter of fact, it's very simple, but the awareness has to come that whatever you're hearing over and over, that's why you need to have an affirmation, you need to have a declaration. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, whatever you want to say after that. Whatever you want for 2021, you want to make sure you're clear on your goals. I said it at the beginning. You want to make sure you're clear on your targets, but you want to speak it over and over. That's why when I hear people say, oh my goodness, all you guys do is talk about your goals, but they don't think it's crazy just talking about their problems over and over. You know, when you talk about your problems over and over, you know what happens? You get more problems. You get more problems. Why? Because that's what you're creating. And I mean, like, even as I'm talking right now, I'm speaking to myself, because this is an area that we all need to improve on. We need to be very intentional about what it is that we're speaking. But more importantly, because remember, the foundation, the basis of controlling my mind is right and wrong thinking. I can't control my mouth unless I control my mind. So when a thought comes, this is where the word says that I need to make sure that I'm with the word. And I need to make sure that's in alignment with Christ. I need to make sure that everything that I'm doing is in alignment with where I want to go. So that's the third point. After you realize now, hey, look, this is how things get into my heart. So I got to guard my heart so that I can guard my mouth. How do things get in my heart? Through repetition, through the word, through me hearing it over and over. But catch this now. So now that I understand how things get into my heart, this is the next question. Are these things that I'm putting in my heart in alignment with where I want to go? This is why people, they get what they don't want from their words, because what's in their heart is not in alignment with what they want. And because it's not in alignment with what they want, they get what they don't want. So the question has to be, am I in alignment with where I'm trying to go? Is what is on the inside of my heart in alignment with where I'm trying to go? Because catch this, right? As I was looking at the word alignment, this is very critical. My four words for the year, really, my guy, Kurt, just sent me the graphics for My 4 words: acceleration, alignment, abundance, and ascension. Those are my 4 words. I know that 2021 is the year of acceleration, but it's also the year of ascension for me. And how do I know that I'm going to ascend? Because I'm going to stay in alignment. And because I'm in alignment, guess what? Abundance going to be flowing. I'm going to live an abundant life. Why? Because I'm in alignment with the word. I'm in alignment with where I'm trying to go. I'm in alignment with what I need to be doing. I'm not just, wandering here, wandering there. I'm focused. I'm in alignment. And this is very important. I would say we had a call for our group last couple, this is today, sorry, a few hours ago. And I was saying that despite all the success that I had in 2020, God was telling me, Akeem, imagine if you were in alignment with the word, because it's not like I was out of whack, but I know that I was not in complete alignment. Imagine what would have happened. Imagine where we would have gone. Imagine what you would have achieved. That's why for this year, I'm making sure that I see and I hear alignment first, because it's alignment. Catch this. When I was researching that word, another word for alignment, you can Google this and see this is not just my opinion, it's a fact. Another word for alignment is agreement, all right? I want you to follow me here, because this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to show you how it's connected. Another word for alignment is agreement. And whatever you are in agreement with, you repeat, you speak. Whatever you agree with, you repeat. What you don't agree with, you don't repeat. That's why, catch this, right? The words that we are speaking, whether we are aware of it or not, whether we think we're in agreement or not, whenever you speak something, there's a measure of agreement there because you said it. Why would you say something that you don't agree with? You think you don't agree with it. If you didn't agree with it, you would not have said it. And this is why the word says, how can two walk if they don't agree? What does that mean? How can we be unified if we don't agree? How can we say the same thing if we don't agree? How can we accomplish these goals together if we don't agree? And agree is not just saying, hey, man, I don't agree with what you said there, or having differences of opinion. Agreement is one band, one song, one vision, one word. Catch this, one word. I was telling some leaders this. What a tragedy was for you to miss the opportunity to experience overflow in 2020 because you didn't speak it. You didn't declare at the beginning of the year. If you didn't release the song at the beginning of the year, awesome. That 2020 would have been the year of overflow for you. You missed that opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity here now to speak and declare what it is that you want. Because here's the thing, whatever you agree with, you give increase to. Think about that. Whatever I agree to, whatever I agree with, I release increase to it. So because I'm repeating something over and over, because I agree, I repeat. And because I repeat, I give increase. I give increase. I'm so happy and grateful to know that I'm a multi-millionaire. So I see that all around. I hear that all around. I hear that all the time. I don't have to wait for somebody to tell me I'm a multi-millionaire because I know that I already am. And okay, someone on the line may understand what you may not understand what I'm saying, but this is the point here that I'm trying to get you to follow me with. I'm not a multi-millionaire yet, but I understand that through my word, through my work, through me understanding that it's mental as well as physical. When you look at the word work, it says the mental and physical effort that needs to be put in, which means that there's a spiritual side and a physical side to this thing. You got to ask yourself, am I just in alignment with the physical side? The physical side is, if you're in this business, doing the presentations, doing the calls, talking to the individual. What about the mental side? What about the mental side? Because if I'm not in alignment with the mental side, then guess what? What I put into my heart is going to be contrary to where I'm trying to go. So how many of you guys are following? How many of you guys is making sense to? Because this is a very simple training, but it is very profound. It's very deep, especially as it relates to you creating what it is that you want this year. Because you're going to create this year. Some of you are creating right now, but you want to ask yourself, am I creating what it is that I want? Ask yourself, am I creating what it is that I want? Am I intentionally doing what I need to do with my words, doing what I need to do with guarding my heart so that I can propel, and this year can be a year of acceleration? Because you remember I said, imagine you accelerating towards something that you don't want. Because this year is the year of acceleration. Imagine you accelerating towards something that you are not in alignment with. And that usually what happens, things that you don't want, negative things, negative results. You get those things because that's what's overflowing in your heart. So I want you guys to understand this. Let me show you guys something here real quick. Shout out to my boy Gavin. I stole this from him. Gavin, if you're on, I'm sorry, bro. You left this in my truck or something, and I haven't given it back to you since. But Gav, this is going to come in very handy here right now. So look, I want to show you guys something here. And I learned this from my mentor. It's called the pyramid or the triangle of belief. So look, I ain't no artist, so I can draw the best triangle, right? But I want you guys to understand this. Let me come around a little bit. At the foundation of this triangle is the word. Why do I say that? Because everything starts with the word. In the beginning was the word. Everything starts and ends with the word. So you want to understand that where you're going to go in 2021 is going to start with your words. Remember, we then said now that the words now that you speak, excuse me, they begin to create. But before they can create, before the word that comes out of your mouth becomes reality, guess what? It has to be a word in your mind. It has to be a thought, because it has to be a thought first before you speak it. So on this foundation of the word, you then move to thinking. Let me show you. Thinking or imagination. Your thinking / imagination, that's where you begin to see yourself as where you want to go in 2021. Your goal this year is to become a 6-figure earner. I tell my leaders this: you got to act like the person you want to become tomorrow, today. You want to write that down. You want to think and act like the person you want to become tomorrow, today. You got to embody that person. You got to be that person today. Because remember, it's the thinking, the process of thinking, that allows us to begin to imagine, that allows us to be able to create. And that's what really happens over here. This new is really new creation. It's really new creation, you know. I'm telling you, I've realized that the thinking, the imaginations that I have, and this is why, you know, the word says that you gotta make sure that the thoughts that you have, any imagination that's not in alignment with the word, guess what? You got to cast that down, because you create stuff with your imagination, you know. That's what the self-confidence formula says. I recognize that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that I'm going to create the dominating thoughts in my mind, because the thinking, remember we were talking about the new creation over here, the newness, the new creation, the thinking is the imagination which creates. And there's a book I want to recommend. I'm also studying it right now. It's called Hung by the Tongue. My mentor said to read this book almost 3 years ago when I first got started. And my wife said she read it. So I probably would have read it, but I don't remember. So I don't know, but she said she read it. So now it's fresh in my mind, right? I'm telling you guys, read this book. I downloaded the PDF. I also ordered the book. Let me tell you guys something, and this is for the visionaries on the line. I buy books, not just for me, but for my descendants, for my children. Let me tell you what, because I found the PDF, I sent it to my boy Anderson Rice, but I'm telling you this. So I'm reading it now, but I also bought the book. Why I bought the book? Because this is what the word says. You want to write this down. And anytime I see individuals who are trying to cut corners with their money, this is what the word says. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is the master key. This is a major key. That's why when I see people holding on to their money, they don't understand the key. They don't understand the law. Where your money is, there your heart will be also. And watch this. If I want to know where your heart is or what is in your heart, look at where you're putting your money. Or look at where you're not putting your money. So I want you guys to follow me here on this, because these are principles that I've learned in my life personally. Guys, I went from broke, busted, and disgusted to rich. I mean, yes, I have made mistakes with my money. Yes, I've done things I shouldn't have done. But here's the thing, and this is what I was telling Kai and Danis and Leah all years night. Regardless, these principles work. Whether you're a good person or a bad person, whether you make mistakes or not, they're laws, they're spiritual laws that once you follow them, you get the results. Now, I'm not saying and advocating that you need to be a bad person. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to work on your character and improve and become a whole individual. Because here's the thing, that's what perfection is. When the word says be perfect, as I am perfect, it means to be whole as I am whole. And whole means that you take the time out to grow and improve and get better in every area of your life. That's what whole, when you look at the root meaning of that word perfect, it means whole. Hole. I'm telling you, because everything starts with the word. This is so strong. That's why I was telling somebody, like, man, if in 2021 you ain't on this, like, I mean, like, seriously, then you're missing it. Everything starts with the word. Everything starts with the word and it ends with the word. So when you understand this, that your thinking allows you to imagine, that imagination, guess what? Look, new creation. It's the newness. You begin to create new things. You begin to create new things. So, guys, I am so excited because I want to tell you that this year is going to be the biggest year for all of us. It's going to be a year where many of us on this line experience levels of success that we have never experienced ever. But I want to give you a warning. I want to give you a warning. There's only one thing that can stop the word from working in your life, or what you want, the desires of your heart. There's only one thing that can stop these desires in your heart. Because remember, we took a journey tonight. We understood that in order for you to guard your mouth in 2021, you've got to guard your mind. How do you guard your mind, or how do you guard your heart? You figure out how things get into your heart. Once you figure out how to put things in your heart, or how things get into your heart, then you need to be intentional and you need to ask yourself, are the things that I'm putting into my heart, are they in alignment with where I'm trying to go? Are they in alignment with what I want to achieve? But catch this. So you say, yeah, are they in alignment? Listen to what the word says. It's in Mark 11. This is what Jesus said. When you stand and pray, so you ask for these things, you say, God, this is what I want. I'm so happy and grateful now, because sometimes we think that praying is you get all religious and you're clasping your hands and you're closing your eyes. No, a prayer is any request that's made. That's what prayer is, requests that are made. So when you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, you start the process of creation, but it's also a prayer. But look at this, right? The only thing that can stop those desires from happening is unforgiveness. It's unforgiveness. And I mean, like, we've heard this over and over, and I'm even talking to myself here now too, because sometimes we think unforgiveness is it's only it's only about the big issues, the big things. Like, oh, this is what he did, something so drastic to me. Unforgiveness is something I need to have there for them, even for the small things. I'm telling you, there's some things that people hold you in their heart because you cut in front of them when you were driving unintentionally, or you did something, a very small thing you did unintentionally, and that person is holding you in your heart after all this time. I'm telling you, I was that individual where people hurt me big time, people hurt me small time. I mean, I was offended by small things. And I realized that, hey, look, Hakeem, you got to release these things. And I mean, there's still times right now, everybody will have to go through this. You've got to let go. Like Mario said, not Mario, Fabian said, you got to let go. Because catch this, right? I'm going to end with this. So, two things I want to say. Unforgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. Forgiving, break this down. Forgiving is part of the generosity principle, because when you are forgiving, you are for giving. And what are you doing? You're giving, you're releasing, you are allowing what is new and needs to come into your life, because you are releasing what you're holding on to. So you need to give these individuals or these situations the gift of goodbye. You need to say, hey, look, 2020, or the individuals that hurt you in 2020, listen, I release you. I give it over. And this is what the word says, you need to put it at the altar. You need to put it at the feet of Jesus. You need to release it, because when you're holding on, guess what? You can't receive. If your hands are clenched like this, then you can't receive the new creation, the newness. You can't get there because you're holding on. This is very important. I'm talking to myself as well. I don't want anyone to think at all that I am separated from this, because we all have issues. We all have problems. We all have people in our lives that hurt us. But more importantly, catch this, we hurt people as well. We hurt people as well. So you gotta be aware that you make mistakes too, and that people are gonna make mistakes as well. And that's where you gotta get grace, and you gotta be patient with people. That's the only thing that's going to stop the desires that you have in your heart from coming to pass, is unforgiveness. So we got to release. We got to release so that we can receive. So guys, if you got value from this training, because I'm thinking we're just about an hour or so, hour and a half. I feel great about that. Probably like about 45 minutes or so. I want you guys to, this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to go on my social media here really quick, on my Instagram, because I'm about to make a post here, right? And I want you to comment on this post. Let me show you. I want you to comment on this post intentional. I just made the post on my Instagram. I want you to comment intentional if you're going to be intentional this year about guarding your mouth. If you're going to be intentional this year about creating the world that you want with your words. If you're going to be intentional this year about understanding, catch this, that it's about not just the physical work, because we have to do the physical work. And if you're in our company, you know what the physical work is, but it's also about the mental work, the spiritual work, the spiritual side of success, which is 90%. Catch this. That's this. The word, the imagination, the creation process starts all here. That's then how you get to the new creation, right here. And you know, this is what I'm going to say. I feel very strongly. I feel as though there are many of us on this line that when you grasp this information and you begin to apply it, you're going to look back on 2021, because this is what my mentor said. My mentor said, look and see. He showed us the journey that he took. It's my mentor, David Emonitier. This is what he said. He said, look, this is what I was doing right up to this point. This man showed us his progression in his life with his income. His income has progressively increased, and not just progressively, but aggressively increased. Now that man has earned at peak over $1 million in one day. In one day. And these are the principles that he's teaching us. These biblical principles, these spiritual laws that he uses to get what it is that he wants in his life. And guess what? You can do that too. You can do that too. So I need all of us on this line, whether you're a part of our company, I Am Mastery Academy or not, to be intentional about guarding our mouths this year. When you read that book, Hung by the Tongue, I was telling my wife this, like, you become hyper aware. Like, you just, bam, this thought come into your mind, bam, is this thought in alignment with where I want to go? If it's not alignment with the word, I need to shut it down. If it's in alignment with the word, and if it's in alignment with where I want to go, then I need to follow through on it. I need to think on it. I need to meditate. Because here's the thing, remember I said it before. What happens is that we think on the things that we don't want, and because we think on these things that we don't want, guess what happens? We begin to create what it is that we don't want. That's why the word said, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, think on these things. Oh my goodness, everything starts with the word. It does. And guess what? Everything will end with the word. So guys, with that being said, man, I'm fired up about this call. I'm very excited about all of you who are on the line. Congratulations in advance, those of you that will have massive success this year from applying these principles. Do not let this be a time where you come on this call and you get entertained, you get, educated, but you don't apply what it is that you learn. I struggled with that. I realized that I was not as teachable and coachable as I thought I was. I was having success, but I was not as teachable and coachable as I thought I was. I was winning at some high levels, but imagine if I was being as teachable and coachable I needed to be, I probably would be even further. And that's for all of us on this line. Take what you learned tonight and apply it. Take what you learned tonight and set it as a foundation for your 2021 so you can move towards where you want to go. So with that being said, guys, what we're going to do here really quickly is celebrate the goals and the dreams that we are going to achieve this year. Because here's the thing, right? Let me show you the laws. When you celebrate before you receive something, that shows that you're grateful, but that shows that you also understand the principles. Because catch this, if I call Kai and I say, Kai, look, bro, I'm about to wire you $1 million, and that day will come, right? Kai, receive that. I'm about to wire you $1 million, a million TT. I'm about to wire you $1 million TT right now, bro. This is what Kai says. Kai says, thank you. Kai says it before I send the money. He expresses gratitude before I can wire you $1 million US dollars too, and a million euros. But I want you to, this is a joke, we're having fun here, but I want you to catch the principle. Kai expresses gratitude before the money hits his account. So him saying thank you, him celebrating, him receiving that $1 million before the money hits is him expressing gratitude. When the money hits now, then he's grateful. He's like, hey, look, I have this $1 million now. I'm this adds to my my billionaire status, because you know Kai is young billionaire, but he receives it and accepts it before it shows up in his account. That's how we need to be with our goals. We need to receive them. We need to accept them before they show up in our lives, because guess what? They're already here, you know. They already exist. They already exist. We were talking about the meaning of the word new. When you look at the word new, it really is, it gives us insight into something that already exists, but no seen. If you look at the definition of new, new says it's something that already exists, but no seen for the first time. You becoming a millionaire already exists. You having 6 figures in your bank account already exists. You having $1 million in your bank account already exists. So if you know that you've already won, if you know that it's already done, then you want to celebrate. You want to receive that right now. Because that excitement, that energy that you have, it's also keeping you in alignment. And it's really a matter of your faith, you know, your ability to receive. That's why the word says, confess it with your mouth, believe it in your heart. Because as you begin to speak it, as you begin to believe it in your heart, that's a reflection of your faith. You believe although you have not seen. You believe although you have not seen. Believe although you have not seen. And here's the thing. Sometimes you got to make sure you see it as well before you actually get it. More often than not, that's what you have to do. Not sometimes. You got to put these success parameters around you so you can see it, so that also contributes to your belief system. So we're going to play some music here really quickly. We're going to celebrate these goals and these dreams that we have for 2021. And then we're going to close out this call. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me pull up some music, and we are going to celebrate. So what I want you guys to do for me, I want you to turn on your cameras as well. That's what I want you to do for me. Let me see if you guys can hear this, because we're going to celebrate here together. If you believe, let's see. Can you guys hear this song? If you believe that 2021 is going to be your year, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Not afraid. We'll be free, but I don't know where we're going. You and me, this is our life and we own it. Like lions in the wild. Like lions in the wild.
I am not afraid. We'll be free, but I don't know where we're going. You and me, this is our life and we own it. Like lions in the wild. 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 Like lions in the wild.
Awesome, 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 guys. Well, have a great evening, everyone. And remember, be intentional about guarding your mouth this year. Let's practice it from right now, from this moment. When you go off this call, let's be aware of what it is that we're speaking. So have a great evening, everyone. See you guys very, very soon.